I would like to start with a question. Everyone should raise their hand who likes to drink coffee. Only that few. Okay, there are not a lot left, but I think a lot of us like to consume coffee, myself as well. And eventually you know that brand behind. And these guys achieved something and invented something which I call simplicity. So they invented these taps and they changed the behavior how to produce coffee or how to make coffee at home. So it's really simple. Just take a tap. There's one single way to enter it in the machine and one single button and the coffee is out and you can drink it and consume it. Another example. Another two brands which are well known. I think you know all of them. I never slept in a Hilton hotel, but I fairly often sleep in Airbnb accommodations. So these guys celebrate 100 years this year. They own plenty of hotels. They build actually themselves. So a high invest. They are renting or selling nearly 1 million rooms, and they're earning a bit of money. The other guys here, they are young guns, if you want to call them like that, and they own nothing. They just simplified the access for private rental apartments to make the world known about it. And that's roughly 7 million currently. And of course, they're earning money with it, but a bit less than the other guys. But if you compare the ratio between the rooms they have, it's incredible how fast they are growing in that age. And there are several other companies you're familiar with, I guess, who also caught us with that simplicity. And they caught us as well with our curiosity. We want to know what's happening with our friends, what they are doing, where they are traveling, so social media do their part. But you also could combine it in another phrase, and that's the convenience. So we are lazy. I'm lazy. Okay, I'm sportive, I like to run and do stuff, but in general we are lazy. We like to consume quite easy, and the user interfaces should be easy to handle as well. Our company started with real analog physical work. We have been building signposts in nature to mark trails and routes for destinations where we are from in Germany. And then with the development of the technology, we thought, that analog data we are producing in papers and authorities are putting in the bookshelf and then they search for catasters. We should digitize that stuff. And latest, until this little fellow came out and we all have it with us all the time, the whole behavior started to change. Changed in terms of that we have in tourism sense, we have a travel guide always with us in our pockets. And the next development is we are starting to speak to a machine so that only one answer or 2 or 3 answers are coming out and not like Google, millions of hits you get as a receipt. And these developments also changed our development ourselves, that we came from this construction work more or less, setting up signposts, to develop ourselves into a platform, a data hub. And we consider ourselves as a data hub because we have a database, which is actually the client's database. And all the behavior, as you can see there, changed from analog into nearly 100% digital. And that also brings us to the opinion that the decision where to find the next destination for our travels has changed too. In the older days, it was where should we go next or where I want to go next. And you can ask yourself, what are you asking yourself today? Why should I go to a destination? Why should I go to the city of Sarajevo? What are the attractions? Are my personal interests fulfilled? My sportive needs, my interests? Is it possible to go for a run, for a mountain bike ride, climbing, whatever your interests are? Or if you are interested in culture or history or religion, then you decide where to go. Another example is the marketing Norway did a couple of years ago. I think it was between 2017 and 2018. They mainly use this picture. And you all know what social media does with marketing. If you put everything in a single spot, it gets pretty crowded quite quickly. And I borrowed this sentence from a friend of us, Chris Doyle, the CEO of ATTA. And that's a true sentence in my opinion, because if you only focus the marketing on a single spot, at the same time, other spots look like that. No tourists, no revenue, and the people are hard to stay employed. And that's why bringing all these hotspots like Bracklestone and this restaurant, bring it together. So these information, these processes here at the back are the challenge for the IT companies like ours and several others in domestic markets, in international markets. They need to simplify that model, and that doesn't look that simple, but there are plenty of companies around which found a way to simplify that kind of model.
So, hello everybody. You hear me? Yeah? So I'm here. I'm Enis from Sarajevo Navigator. You can also know us by the Destination Sarajevo brand, which we are developing for the last 5 or 6 years. Actually, we're on the market for 13 years. So, what we are doing is actually this. We started with printed guides. Actually, we started with the idea to collect the data about Sarajevo offer and to show it to the world. And not just to the world, but to the citizens of Sarajevo too. Because most of the times, when we speak with the people in Sarajevo, with our friends, with our family, most of them are not aware of the offer that we have. And we have a lot of it. So, we started with one small guide. Today we have 5 or 6 medias and channels. And probably you all know about it. But today I want to speak about the digital, about the scheme that Tom showed us on a slide before, and what we do in that direction. So, today we are the destination marketing organization that collects the data from the different sources, our partners through the Destination Sarajevo Partners Club. You can see the logo downstairs. You can see a lot of stickers throughout the Baščaršija area or Sarajevo. When you go to Čevabdžinica, probably, just look on the door, you will see Destination Sarajevo Partners Club sticker. That means that they are the part of our club. And they are providing us the data so we can share them to the world through our platforms. We collecting the data from hotels, from shopping, from cultural institutions, from attractions. We are collecting the events, the data about the events in Sarajevo, and you can find on our Sarajevo.travel website or our applications for mobile phones called Sarajevo Navigator, which are free, of course, the complete calendar of events in Sarajevo. You can find the data about the flights to and from Sarajevo, how to come to our beautiful city, about the trains, about the bus schedules. You can find the only relevant map of the public transport in our publications, in our website. Because we created it, it doesn't happen before. And also, we made the cooperation with TripAdvisor, Booking.com, and Facebook to show the reviews, to give the possibility to our customers to book accommodation when they are already on our Sarajevo.travel website. Because if you are on Sarajevo.travel website, you are definitely looking something for Sarajevo and probably accommodation. So now you can and book it directly. You can read what our partners have to say in Facebook. So we connected their Facebook pages or their posts from Facebook to our profiles in the website. And at one page, you can see the gallery of one restaurant, for example, the TripAdvisor comments and the rating for that restaurant and decide would you go there or not, because we all know how relevant are the reviews today. You can see what they're posting on Facebook page, and if it is accommodation, you can book it directly from our web page. So we are collecting all these data from all the sources in our database. We are processing it, linking it together, and showing it to the world through different medias, and not just medias. As you can see, we have printed guides, as I showed you, the 3 of them. So we have, in these almost 13 years, we printed and distributed for free almost 2 million multilingual guides. Now we have guides, of course, in local language, but in English, Turkish, Arabic, and from this January in Chinese. So beside the printed guides, we are communicating the data through the destination website, sarajevo.travel or destinationsarajevo.com, through our mobile app, Sarajevo Navigator, which is available for Android and iPhones, through social media channels, where we have more than 100,000 followers during these 3 years, and we didn't buy them. Those are the people that like Sarajevo and that follows the things that we post about our beautiful city. Those are the people that want to visit our city, that already visited our city, or our citizens that are following positive thoughts, positive news from our city. And there are a lot of positive news from our city. It's not so dark as it seems when you maybe watch the TV, I don't know, political news or the daily news portals. Then we communicate with local partners and do the networking between them, share the information, share the knowledge, educate them, and we learn a lot from our partners, of course. Travel agencies are also one of our main partners. We share our data with international travel agencies so we can help them to better promote our destination. Today we have the meeting with Chinese tour operators, and we will provide them with the photos, with information about Sarajevo in Chinese language so they can promote it in China. And the last but not the least, international media. We cooperated in the last 2 or 3 years with brands on international markets such as Condé Nast Traveler from New York, which is, as I can find, the most important magazine in tourism in the world. They wrote a story about Sarajevo and we provided them the information. The Independent, their Standard from Vienna, and so many different media outlets and news portals from on international market. So I will just show you. We started with this, and we are still sticking with this. Why? Because there will always be some people that wants to have the paper map in their hands. But it's important to have it online and digitalized, to collect the data, to process the data, link it, and show it in the digital media. So the Tom will continue. This is how our application looks like, and we are now in the process of making a full redesign, so we will offer even more than we are offering now. So Tom will continue to speak about the challenges we had and, I think, fighting together. Collaborating, yeah.
Collaborate. My mic is not on? Oh, now it's working. At this point, I wanted to refer to Mr. Wisman from Cisco Systems from his keynote yesterday. He mentioned something which is very true, in my opinion. In the domestic market, there are several infrastructures in place, digital ones, physical ones, but on a digital perspective, they don't know each other. They are not communicating to each other, these infrastructure. And if ecosystem is communicating. I brought an example from Trentino. They had a natural disaster last autumn, a big windstorm, vanished more or less the whole nature. And if the authorities could publish it through a digital system, then actually a map could look like this. All these red dots are warnings about trail blocks because a bridge is broken, a tree has fallen over, and you saw the image before. It was quite hard to follow any track. So this green line over there, around that beautiful mountain, you see there are several blockages, so it isn't a smart idea to go there for a hiking vacation or a hiking trip over the weekend. And then if the data knows where the natural disaster has happened and the database knows where the trail is or where the data are located, then they can show actually that it's closed, that there's some occurrence, that it's not wise traveling there. And this example brings me to the challenges the whole IT sector in the world in general needs to deal with. So it's about providing information, bring it to the right audience, and you need to take care about the processes behind. So also the showcase we are going to present today is all about the processes behind. It's not the website, the showcase itself, which is developed and it's there. It's not published, but it's there, it's physically there. But it's not about the showcase, it's about this information. So this information should be available in a really easy to use format, because these are the informations that people are looking for. And if you have that information in place, you can start thinking about which processes you can start that the people actually can pay a bus with a credit card, the accommodation with a credit card, and all the processes you can see there. And if these processes are provided in any kind of device, then you get in return information from the users, from the guests, where they're from, what they're doing, where they have been, and all these insights and analytics of the data starts the whole process all over again, because then you can redefine your information, you can redefine the processes, and that brings me to the way how to structure the data. And for us, for our company, and as well for Ines companies, the digitization starts with the map. Because what we are doing when we are traveling somewhere, we open a map in a digital way, or at the hotel counter, there are always these nice maps. But if the next layer you can see here, the activity layer we call it, is not fitting to the reality, you're very quickly lost in reality. Because if you want to follow a path which is existing in your map you are using, but it's not fitting to the reality, then you need instead 45 minutes, 4.5 hours or something like that, he told me yesterday. And that's why the digitization starts in the map. A collaboration with official authorities by providing map data. Where are the nature reserves? Where are the nature parks? Where is the infrastructure, parking slots, bus stops? All that information gathered in a map, and then on top of the base layer of the map, you can add content, user-generated content, professional edited content from destination, from official authorities, and at the end you have a final map. And the idea of the showcase in the cooperation with the GIZ is to build 3 showcases actually, one in Sarajevo, one in the area of Banja Luka, and one in the area of Mostar. And all the tourism decisions is also affecting or benefiting the inhabitants, because they also want to go outdoors, especially here in Sarajevo if the nature is so close and the mountains are so close. And then, as I mentioned before, the nature reserves jump in. The guests, if there is a possibility in your interface you're using, that the guests can contribute and upload tour descriptions and where they have been and start talking about their experience. The mountain clubs can add their information and their knowledge, and so the whole circle goes around. That all that information gets stored and gathered in a database, and then from there we can provide it in any kind of front end. existing front ends, existing websites, existing applications, or as we have built it now, the showcase of Sarajevo as a front end to show the processes, how it could be visualized. It's not switching. I see it here in the preview, but not there. Yeah. So we put these 3 showcases in different focus. So the example here of Banja Luka will focus on the local producers and manufacturers. And the area in Banja Luka, they have this outdoor festival. So actually we're using that infrastructure again from that outdoor festival and combine it with activities to actually visit the local producers, because they are part of the festival, but in general, they are struggling being part of the tourism and the marketing behind. This is how eventually the showcase will look like. The second showcase about Mostar is dedicated to the full destination management, starting what I explained before, that the real trails in reality should fit to the digital map you're providing to your guests. And from there, content creation, product development, bringing all the players and the authorities together to simplify the visualization again for that showcase. They are all looking very similar. And this showcase of Sarajevo, we are going to look further in detail today. And the focus is what we have done, what Mr. Wisman said, bringing infrastructures together, we just did. We found a partner with Sarajevo Navigator who has the knowledge in the city. They have a lot of content in the city, and we just brought it together with the content we have in our database of Bosnia and Herzegovina and Sarajevo in special. And we brought it together, and we used our content network, which is a summary of several websites, to build the processes necessary to get more visibility for touristic content and visualize it in that showcase. And out of our experience, we can clearly say that a single website, a destinational website, can reach a certain visibility. But by collaborating with databases and other infrastructures, you can leverage your visibility quite easily. An example from the area where we are from, their own website is creating 4.3 million page views. The content we have on outdirective.com, it's a single website, produced 3.6 million page views. But the whole network we have behind, several hundred websites using the same content, using the same database as a source, leverage the visibility by 3. And there are other examples by our clients, for instance, who has a much larger leverage than just by 3. Maybe you guys know the project Via Dinarica and the website behind, a great project about hiking in your country, in your beautiful country. And we are running that website. And the traffic they gained in 2017 was 800,000 page views in that year. 2018, they had 1.2 million page views the year without spending any single euro in marketing. So the content produced the visibility. So guess what we did? We joined the content of Sarajevo Navigator with ours, as explained before, and brought it into the showcase. And we just show the relations, if you remember the linked data sheet we had, how simple it could look like if you concentrate on single relations between the map, an activity, a site, or a bookable offer or event, just for example. So this is the starting page, and how we visualize stuff. You can say that's not state of the art, but it's not about this website. It's about the process behind how we achieve to bring that visualization in place. So this is the profile of a restaurant at the desktop site of Sarajevo Navigator. And we took the content from their database, and integrate it in our. So it was Bosnian language at Sarajevo Navigator's website. Here on that showcase, the same content, and you can see the source at the right top corner, destination Sarajevo, because the content stays with the source. So it stays the client content, and we are just a channel, a distributor, a data hub to gain more visibility. The same content again on our website in German, that the audience, which we have 1.6 million registered users and growing rapidly. And then we created an example for a nice hike in the surroundings of the city of Sarajevo to that Skakavac waterfall. Same story, English, Bosnian language, and German on the showcase, German on our website, and integrated automatically in the Via di Nadica website in Bosnian language. So the distribution starts automatically. And there are other sources in place to enlarge the visibility as well. So I need to speed up a little. So other content availability and technology development we did are automatically in place, that you have filter bars, that you have that sharing button at the very top. If you are a registered member, you can bookmark these informations. You can use that interactive map, and automatically, as we have the origin information about the surface, for instance, you know where is asphalt, you know where is gravel, and you can relate the content to that activity. That you see the restaurant and the mountain hut and the POI, the waterfall you want to go to. And then if you click on the POI on the map, you have a detailed map again and page of the mountain hut, of the waterfalls, the POI. And you can relate events as well, as you can see it at the very bottom. If you click on the event, you see the relation from the tour to the event again. And bookable services as well. So if there is an offer in place and our system knows it, we are relating bookable services as well to increase the possibilities to sell tickets. And then the same distribution again in other websites using our database. I speed up to this one here, because you heard that already. And that's a true sentence. Our CEO yesterday told the same one, and it's really true. Everything will be digitized. There's no way to stop that. But if you're not part of the game somewhere, somehow, then you're losing relevance. And spending the money in digitization starts the whole process here of building your own DNA, reaching the right guests, analyzing your data, sharpen your profile yourself, and getting the guests you actually want to have. And we don't want to push the cruise ship tours or package tours, which are not leaving a lot of money in the domestic market. So we want to push the individual travelers. But these guys need to find the places they are interested in. To sum everything up, and then I'm done, the whole project here, it's about collaboration. It's about the smart data behind to find the infrastructure which are talking to each other, which are dealing with each other. And it's about the visibility for the small and medium entrepreneurs in your beautiful country. Thank you very much.